I'm Sofi Gabby. So this summer, I did a trip with Rustic Pathways in Peru for 18 days. Rustic Pathways is a pretty neat company, and if you're interested in travel, they have like over a dozen locations that you can go to with all kinds of interests. If you're an inspiring doctor or athlete or environmentalist, they have programs for all of that. I did a program that was, it's called Sacred Valley Service, and it was in Peru. It was very community service oriented. There are some rustic programs that aren't community service oriented that you can go and just travel, but mine was pretty community service intensive. It was like 60 hours. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Okay. So, can I look at this? Yeah. Okay. So essentially what I was doing was a clean water service project. So we were in the mountains in a very remote village. We were at like 14,000 feet. So altitude sickness was kind of an issue for the first couple of days, but it was okay. So we ended up, what we were doing was digging trenches and laying piping for essentially they were like hot water springs at the top of the mountains, but the villages didn't have access to this potable water. So we were making piping that could bring it to them more easily. So for like 8 hours a day, we were just like digging and working on the trenches, which, I mean, like understandably it sounds super miserable, but it wasn't. It was actually incredible. We were working alongside the natives, which was kind of amazing because they're all such genuine people, and even though they only spoke Quechua, which is like the native Incan language, we still like became really close. And we also worked at the local school with some of the kids, and they were all so sweet, and we made a lot of like really meaningful connections with them, which was kind of one of the better takeaways that I took away from this trip. But in addition to work, we also did like a lot of really kind of more like adventure stuff. We went whitewater rafting, which was totally incredible. I love whitewater rafting. And we went mountain biking, kind of terrifying. It was, because we were heading like from the top of the mountain down to the bottom and just like swerving back and forth. And if you didn't turn quick enough, you would essentially fall and drop like 9 feet. But we made it. It was a good experience. And then we went bungee jumping, which again, terrifying. Didn't love it, but it happened, which is great. I can say that I went bungee jumping. I got a cool picture for Facebook, so like all in all worth it. We went to a bunch of local not shops, but like marketplaces, and everything in Peru is so cheap. Their currency is soles, and it's like 3 soles is $1. So I got like a super nice wool sweater for like $10. So I really like loaded up on goodies. So we were camping for the 3 weeks, and my tent mates were like kind of the coolest people I've ever met. You get so close with your group, even though you're with them for less than a month, and like I would consider them some of my best friends. We camped out for we were in tents the whole time, and it got kind of chilly. It was like during the day it was like 80, but during the night it was like 30. But we got used to it after a while. Like it was tough to adjust. One thing that's important though also is that most of my group didn't speak Spanish. I was the only person who actually spoke Spanish. My group leaders did, and then the native guides, they spoke Spanish and Quechua, so they did a lot of translating. So basically if you ever do a rustic trip, it's not like that big of a deal if you don't speak the language as like the native people. But like regardless, we still made like really good friends with a lot of the people also working on the project that only spoke Quechua. Just like through non-verbal like interaction, as well as like we also got snacks, and we just share our snacks with them, and like from there like you're friends. And yeah, so overall I think it was like, I know it's kind of a cliche, but like traveling for 3 weeks and just like living amongst just like native people who don't have that much, it is life-changing. I know that sounds like this crazy I'm being dramatic, but I genuinely mean it, and I would recommend Rustic Pathways for anyone. It does seem nerve-wracking. Like, I was pretty nervous to go, but like once you get there, I was actually working on the trenches on the first day, and I came across a huge spider that was like literally the size of like a basketball. I'm not kidding. And generally, if I saw that here, I would have just been like, all right, like this is it, and I would have just packed up and been like, I'm ready to go home. But oh, sweet. Oh.
No, come on.
Anyway, oh, awesome. Wait, can I? Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is us. So yeah, I'll finish the story. So there was a huge spider, but like at that point, I was already so out of my comfort zone that I was kind of like, you know what, we're here, it's happening, might as well just go for it. And I got back in, and that's kind of like sums up the trip really well. This is the school that we worked at. These are the this is the tents we stayed in. These are my tent mates, Sophie and Grace, and they're like some of my best friends, even though I only was with them for like 3 weeks. This is the whole group. It was 21 people, which is actually one of the bigger sides. Like most of them are like 8 to 15 people. There's bungee jumping, knee pick, definitely worth it. Mountain biking, whitewater rafting, the marketplace. We did bonfires every night, which is super neat. This was during the dry season, so everything was pretty much dead, but like it's still just as beautiful. Machu Picchu, that's a big one. Definitely see it. Definitely worth it. Because they're thinking about closing it off to the public because it's getting very run down by all the foot traffic. So if you can see it in your lifetime, like that is an amazing thing. This is a better picture. You can't really see it, but the stars were incredible every night. And these were some of the locals that dressed up for us one day, which is really cool. And if you have any questions, this is my contact information. Thank you.